Hello, everybody, and welcome to this EEX Nordic Power market update. So today we would like to give you a bit of update on what's been going on in our markets since the last webinar, and since our launch of our new initiatives from September. So, but before we start, then I'd just like to point out that the webinar will be recorded, and it will be made available on our EEX YouTube channel and also on our EEX Nordic website afterwards. And any questions you might have, you can raise them in the chat function, and they'll be answered at the end of the webinar. If your questions are not answered, then please reach out to either your key account manager or write to sales@eex.com. Yeah, next slide, please. So today we would like to just introduce you to some of our new Nordic team members. We've opened new offices in Stockholm and in Oslo. After that, I would like to give you a quick market update, what's been going on in our markets since our launch. Then we'll also talk a bit about ISV solutions for the Nordics and also the advantage of a commingled order book. And here we have first Dan Willis. Some will talk about the ISV solutions, and we'll have Christian Layritz talking about our commingled order book. And then at the end, we'll just give you a brief update on the events that we are having the rest of the year. We'll finally end up with a Q&A session at the end. Next slide, please. So here you basically have an idea of who is working on the Nordic topic from EEX. We're a quite good, steady group. We've been working together for quite a long time, and it covers everybody from sales to business development to regulatory affairs to clearing. And we have people sitting from different locations. As we've said many times before, we're bringing in clients to the Nordics from all over the world. So it's relevant for us to have teams dedicated as well from other locations than the Nordics. But now I would like to just hand over to my colleague Christina Christensen. She will just give herself a short introduction. And afterwards, our new colleague Arne Haugland is our business developer in Oslo. And he has a colleague, Magnus, also located in the Oslo office. But Christina?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anders, and hello, everyone. As Anders said, my name is Christina Christensen, and I'm responsible for driving our development in Sweden, while also maintaining a close relationship with several of our customers in Norway. Please feel free to contact me if you would like to schedule a meeting and learn more about how we strengthen the liquidity across the Nordic region. Building markets together reflects how we work at EEX, and we invite you to join us on this exciting journey. I would truly appreciate the opportunity to meet you and listen to the challenges you face in your daily work. You are warmly welcome to visit our office at Lilla Nygatan 23 for a coffee, or we could enjoy a lunch on one of the many cozy restaurants here in Gamla Stan. I look very much forward to speaking with you soon. And with that words, I would hand over to my colleague, Arne Haugland.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Arne Haugland. I started on the 1st of January as an expert business developer. I have a long background from working in, especially in the StarCraft systems within both trading, origination, and business development. My role is really to help sort of the Nordic, especially the local Nordic participants, to make sure that you have that EEX is offering the products that the market needs. And also to help coming up with solutions that is adding value to the Nordic market. So I'm also stationed in Oslo, like Anders already said, in our new office there. And I will also, together with our sales representatives, looking forward to meet as many as possible of you, and to hear what your views are on the Nordic markets and what you think would would EEX could do and offer you, and that would add value to your daily business. And for that, I hand over the word to Magnus.
Hi, thank you, Arne. So last but not least, my name is Magnus Gunnar Schilling, and I'm the most recent addition to the EEX Nordic team, having joined here in Oslo roughly a month ago, where I will be working as a sales and account management and development role, closely with all the Nordic and especially Norwegian clients, potential clients, stakeholders, in an effort to grow our Nordic power markets and community and expand our footprint. With that, I'll hand it back to Anders.
Thank you very much, Magnus. And for the ones who doesn't know me, my name is Anders Cassoe. I'm a sales manager representing the Danish office. Been with EEX for 14 years. So maybe some of you know me, but of course, if you don't, you're always welcome to reach out for a bit more information on our markets. So yeah, let's move on. So this is just briefly to show you the locations of our offices and our representation in the Nordics. We are now present in all the Nordic areas, Nordic countries, from Finland to Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. And we are quite proud of that development. For us, being local is a must, and it's very important for our development. We build markets together with the clients of our markets, so it's very important that we have a local presence and a local voice, and speak the languages. Yeah. So next slide, please. For the ones who doesn't know EEX Group, I just brought one slide along, just to show our reach. So EEX is the world's largest power exchange, and we comprise of different segments, you could say, of the business. We have a European leg, we have a Japanese leg, which is our recent and also the most strong development market we have. We also cover the short-term power markets with EEX Spot. We also have markets here in the Nordics. And then we also reside in the US with Nodal Exchange, who run both US power spot and derivatives markets. Next to this, we have also complete natural gas offering across the world. We have global commodities, we have environmental products and geo futures and other products. So it's just to give you a bit of an idea of what EEX is doing and working with. And as you can see on the power side, we've had a quite good and steady growth for the last many years. Good. Next slide, please. And for our Nordic offering, so I tried to compile basically the whole commercial offering in one slide. This gives you an overview of both the products listed and also the incentives we're trying to use to grow liquidity in the Nordic areas. So firstly, we have our system price contract. And when we launched our products, we of course had a lot of chat with both our existing members, but also the new Nordic members who are members with us. And it was very clear that we should not touch the system price contract. And that's never been our intention. It will never be. So the system price contract is actually possible to trade all the way out to 10 years out in the future. On our next product, we have our zonal futures. So these are the newest, you could say, products to the bundle. By listening to the market, we could hear that there was a need for a simpler concept, simpler trading opportunity. And zonal futures are basically outright futures for all the 12 Nordic bidding zones. So it's possible to trade SE3, DK1 in one trade, compared to today where you have to trade both the system price and the EPAD to have a position in your local area. So this is a more efficient way of trading. And we also see that it's being adapted quite well by the market. Next to that, we have locational spreads. Locational spreads are basically spreads between zones or between markets. So that could be a spread between NO1 and SE3, for instance, just as an example. There are multiple spreads available. And this is basically a new functionality in the Nordic area, but something that's being highly used across the continent. the spread trading is seen more and more, and it's definitely a growing business and an efficient way of closing positions in one transaction. So you click one price and you get 2 legs in one price, basically. Based on that, we also heard from the market that the EPADs is very implied in the market. So it's very known, and this is what the market is used to trading. So what we've done is we've looked at the spreads we have between the system price and the 12 bidding zones, and then we call them basically implied EPADs because economically they are completely equivalent to an EPAD contract. This is also where we have introduced market makers on these 12 spreads, as they are economic equivalents of the EPADs and thereby easier to price. But I'll get into that a bit more later. Next to that, it's also possible to do trade registration with us. And here we have several different brokers who are active with us and are supporting the EEX markets. And you can see them here. Next to that, we have launched several initiatives to boost the liquidity and in the Nordic area. And the first initiative we launched is to basically start the market. So we introduced market making schemes, quite interesting schemes we hear, and it's been quite successful. The launch of these market makers, we currently have 6 active market makers on our system price contracts. And they are market making basically from the front month to 3-4 years out in time. And as you'll see a bit later, they're doing a quite good job. Also on that, we have 2 to 3 market makers on each of the 12 zones. So on DK1 and DK2, we actually have 3 market makers market making the implied EPAD. So the spread between the system price and DK1, the system price DK2. And then we have 2 market makers on all the other 12 EPAD contracts. So yeah, we're quite happy with this development and also the price picture we see. And to support our market makers, we also set up an initiator scheme. The initiator scheme is promoting initiation. So if you enter orders and your orders are aggressed, we are paying 21,500 euros per initiated terawatt hour, and this is pro rata from the first megawatt hour. And this scheme is available until the 31st of August 26. We already have 30 companies registered for this scheme. We also have a trading fee holiday, which is also available until the 31st of August. That means it's free to trade for at least the trading fees. On top of that, we also have an open interest scheme or trade registration scheme where 29 companies have registered already. And here we are paying out basically 100,000 euros per terawatt hour, also from the first megawatt hour. And that's basically to help build up open interest in our markets. And this corresponds to basically a swap of 10 cents. So it's quite attractive. And I'll give an example of how this looks just shortly. And this scheme here is available until the 31st of March. And all these schemes you can find in more detail on our website. There is a presentation there that goes, have a slide on each of them. To register to these incentives, reach out to me or any of your CAMs or simply write to trading@eex.com. And as an extra note, these schemes are also available for DMA clients. Next slide, please. So this is an example of how to utilize the open interest scheme. So if you, for instance, do the following transaction through a broker, these schemes have to be trade registered. You cannot do them on the order book. So you have to go through brokers. But if you take, let's say, a position in Q2 26, 5-lot position at 48.76, and the broker is clearing this through ECC, then you have basically you're not using your credit lines first of all. So that's one advantage. But on the side, you're also getting an income from the open interest scheme of 1,092 euros. Then to subtract the clearing cost, which is the only cost associated with doing a trade registration of 55 euros, then you have a net profit before cost of capital of 1,037 euros. Then, of course, you will have margining to take care of. And the initial margin for this deal is 30,132 euros. And this is not taking into account any cross-margining effects that you might have. So this cost would probably be lower if you have other positions than this one. But just for the example, so if your capital cost is 6% or around 6%, then you would have a cost of roughly 377 euros when keeping the position through delivery. And that gives you basically a net profit of 660 euros. So it's you could say utilizing this scheme is purely a win-win, you could say. Next slide, please. So here we just wanted to illustrate to you the market making efforts that we've done. So what you're looking at here is the Nordic system price. And you see on the top the spread on the month contract. Next slide is the quarter, and the lower graph is the yearly contract. And as you see, then we have quite a good coverage. The spread is more or less as tight as the market. Even on the years, we see that EEX the last months have been outperforming the market. So yeah, we're quite happy with the performance of our market makers. Very proud of the work they're doing, and very appreciative of that work. And we hope that by you seeing this, that you see that it's good to have at least an eye on more than one market player to get the best price. Next slide, please. So this might look a little bit messy, but if you look carefully, you'll see the blue lines is the market, the red is EEX, and on the left side you have the DK1 market. So it's the spread between the system price and DK1. On the right side you have the same for DK2. So front month, quarter, and year at the bottom. And as you see, the EEX market making is quite stable. Yes, there are volatility in the price development, but overall it's quite stable in the 3-year range, and it's definitely something that we are proud of. We have prices more or less the entire day, and as you see again, quarters, years, we are and even also on months outperforming the market. So it's yeah, we are very proud of this view. And I can tell you, I couldn't bring basically all 12 zones, but the picture is very similar for all the other 10 zones we have available. So if you haven't seen these prices or can't see these prices with your developers, reach out to the vendors you have and request that you can see EEX pricing, because you're definitely missing out if you don't have the full picture. Next slide, please. So here I just wanted to give, it's very, very difficult to read, but it's basically our order book, or part of the order book. I'm not going to go through everything here, don't worry, but I just wanted to put attention to a product that we do have as well. It's correlating to our spread products, but as in our spread products, we also have the option of time spreads. So in the middle top section here, you actually see a section of the calendar and quarter time spreads that we have available. And a time spread is basically a spread between two different maturities. So that could be front month, second month, could be front quarter, third quarter, or even the first year, third year, second year. So it gives you opportunity to hedge a much more varied way. And that's basically what EEX is here to do. That is to offer possibilities in the market. We're not trying to limit anything. We're trying to open up trading options for you. Next slide, please. We've also made it a bit easier to enter the market. So normally a full power membership costs 22,000 euros per annum. And here you get access to all EEX power markets. But for the Nordics, we've introduced a special membership, and to get access to all our Nordic power products, you only have to pay 5,000 euros per annum. So it's quite please go back. That's quite a substantial easier market entry, you could say. And even for new entries, the first 5 quarters are free. There's no membership fee. And that's of course dependent on which quarter and which time in the quarter you are onboarding. So yeah, next slide, please. We just want to also give you a quick examples of cross-margining effects. This is something that is unique to EEX because we have such a vast product portfolio. So basically all our EEX Nordic futures are cross-margined with other EEX contracts, making them the most cost-effective offer in the market. So basically we are trying to optimize your collateral requirements. And here in this example here, you can get up to 71% reduction. And this of course depends on your portfolio. But we are basically having cross-margining advantages across our different portfolios. So if you have positions at gas, for instance, or ETS 1 or 2, or guarantees of origin futures, then these are basically netted between your power position. And that's something the only EEX that can offer. And this is very, very highly used and appreciated by our continental players who have positions in all our product portfolios. Next slide, please. So this is just a concrete example where you have a Nordic position and you also have a German position in German month, quarters, and years. And here you're basically having a margin reduction of 41%. So it's substantial effects you'll have on your margin requirements. Next slide, please. This is just to give you you can look at this afterwards, but it's basically highlights that we are here to help. And on our ECC website, there is a route to how you can to determine and download the scanning ranges and intercommodity spreads that basically is used for doing these calculations. So you can have comparison of your positions today or your futures positions and how they are looking with EEX. And we can also offer you a meeting where we can do some calculations directly on either your own portfolio or synthetic portfolio, so you get an overview of your capital cost. Next slide, please. And now down to a bit more statistics. So currently the market have developed very positively. So it was September 25 we launched the new initiatives, and we've basically seen a steady growth of active participants ever since. We now have 43 active participants every month. So this is very positive. And we normally say when we reach 20-25 participants, then we start to see movement in the markets. And when we reach above the 40%, then we're starting to see liquidity develop. So we've reached basically the critical mass, you could say. And yeah, we're very proud of this adaptation from the market participants. Next slide, please. So this just to illustrate, it's a little bit messy, but it illustrates the representation of the different areas. And you can see we are having quite a good coverage from both the Nordic Baltic players to Central Eastern European and Western European countries. So it's basically the Nordics and Baltics stands for 1/3 of the active participants and 1/3 of the volume. So that demonstrates basically a very strong regional adaptation. But we also have what we have promised from the beginning, that we will bring new players to the Nordic market, and that's basically the rest of the active participants. So that's players coming in from Western Europe, from DACH countries, and we also have participants from America as well. So it's quite good variation of active participants, and we expect this to grow only in the future. So we're bringing in new blood, you could say, to the Nordic market, which is exactly what the market needs to have growing liquidity in the future. Next slide, please. So here we are basically showing the volume development. And as you can see, we actually launched our products quite some time ago, but it's not before September last year we launched the initiatives. And you can see they've had quite a good impact already. The light color is cleared volume, and a lot of people have taken advantage of our open interest scheme. But you can also see that the order book is developing. And if we look at the next slide, then you'll see a continuous development of order book trading. We expect and hope that this will only keep going in this direction. volume split across basically all the 12 zones, and the system price you can see here, the majority of the volume is in the system price, and that's basically consistent with the development seen at Nasdaq as well. But we're starting to see quite a good development on all the different zones as well. Open interest wise, SE3 is the most active zone for us, but on daily trading, DK1, DK2 is very well functioning, and we actually have more than 50% market share in DK1, DK2 right now, and we have high market shares in the other 12 zones as well. So it's yeah, we have trades in all 12 of the zones in the Nordics. So it's we are very positive with this development we see. And encourage everybody to join in, of course. Next slide, please. So this just gives you an idea of the open interest developments we've seen, and you can see basically from September it starts to move, and in 25 we saw a very big open interest development in the yearly futures, and in the new year here we've seen the biggest development in the quarter contracts, but we see a positive development in basically all the contracts. So it's very positive development. Nice to see that open interest is developing. Next slide, please. So we've basically had from year to year growth of 73%. Next slide. And here we just see the open interest on each of the 12 zones. So we've taken the system price out, and here you can see also a very positive development in the majority of the zones. You see that the SE3 is the biggest zone, and we have some very large positions transferred in SE3, which we're very appreciative of. But we see open interest increase across the board. Next, please. And now I'll basically hand over to my colleague Dan, who will just shortly introduce himself and where he's from, and talk about ISVs.
Thank you, Anders, and hello everyone. My name is Dan Willis, and I'm an account manager for the ISV team at EEX in London. We manage the relationships with our ISVs, assist our members with connectivity to the exchange, as well as liaising with prospect customers. Today I'm going to talk about the ISV status in the Nordics and some solutions we have. So Nordic prices on EEX are supported by several of our registered vendors. These include Trayport and Trading Technologies, who I'm sure you've heard of. Now, coverage spans the full futures curve, including location spreads, calendar spreads, and their implied values. So for EEX members enabled for Nordic Power, if you already use an approved EEX vendor, you'll be able to trade Nordic Power products immediately. For non-EEX members trading via DMA, access can be requested by your direct electronic access provider. In addition, for those customers who want to connect direct to the exchange, direct API access is available for these products via FIX, which is the international standard, and ETI, which is the standard EEX API for trading, optimized for EEX performances. So both of these interfaces are available. Now, we do recognize that not all Nordic members currently utilize these vendors that we have already registered or are connected directly. So to address this, we're actively speaking and coordinating efforts with preferred vendors and progressing onboarding activities accordingly. Next slide, please. So just to mention 3 of those prospect vendors that we are in touch with at the moment. Now, some of these may be relevant to you. I'm sure you've certainly heard of Bloomberg Tradebook, but these are three of the guys we wanted to mention that we are in talks with, and we're progressing with the onboarding. So just to start with Bloomberg Tradebook, the strong demand for Nordic members that is recognised by us is also recognised by Bloomberg. Now, The good news is that Tradebook is already connected to T7 Eurex. We use the same infrastructure at EEX, but the EEX connection is currently being developed. So the fact that we've got the infrastructure with Eurex already in place, this is certainly good news, and this is progressing with planned delivery in the second part of the year for Bloomberg Tradebook. For iRisk, so this is an ETRM vendor with a trading front-end GUI. We know that this is used by customers trading Nordic Power. We have had some conversations with iRisk. They're very keen to come on board with us, and connectivity discussions are ongoing. And thirdly, Infront. So a bit of background on Infront. They provide real-time market data via their platform. They're already connected to the CEF, which is the server where all market data sits at Deutsche Börse, with licenses covering all Eurex and EEX power and gas products. So that's certainly good news that's in place. To view EEX Nordic prices, customers are required an Infront license for the EEX Nordic market data. I believe there's a small cost there, but they have confirmed that. There is an end user agreement via Deutsche Börse already in place, which is again good news. So we're just waiting for the availability of the full EEX Nordic data to be confirmed. So conversations with those three are ongoing, and we hope to have some good news in regard to onboarding those a little bit later this year. Next slide, please. So what do we have in place as solutions in the meantime? Now, we have two routes available, and both of these routes involve utilizing the EEX Web TT screen and the EEX Trayport dual screens. So there's two options here. The first is a read-only market data screen. So this is totally free, so there's no cost at all. It's a simple web-based price screen and is available on request. Now, these screens provide visibility of our Nordic prices, including all Nordic products and spreads. And if you're interested in obtaining one of these, you can request this via email, and there's no authentication required. Secondly, if you wanted a screen where you can actively trade, again via EEX TT and EEX Trayport Dual, these screens are available, and they can be ordered directly from EEX via our member section, and there'd be no external vendor contract required there. So if there's any interest in that, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to provide demos over the web to see what you think and just to have a look. But there's certainly two very good solutions we offer at the moment, so hopefully they'll be of interest to you. In regard to other Nordic ISVs that I haven't mentioned that you may use, we do welcome suggestions of these additional ISVs to widen the opportunities for our Nordic members. But we do encourage to raise demand with these ISVs. This can only accelerate onboarding, but please let us know, and we're more than happy to reach out to them as well to start conversations. Next screen, please. Now, I just wanted to give a quick snapshot of what the EEX Trayport dual screen looks like for those that haven't seen it. Now, again, as mentioned, we can provide demos, but this just gives you a look and feel of the screen. All products are available. So, in regard to the Nordic system prices, zonal futures, location spreads, implied EPADs, and time spreads, they're all available on the screen. And yeah, there's some examples of those products on that screenshot that you can see now. Next screen, please. Similarly, this is the view from the EEX Web TT screen. Again, all the products I've just mentioned in the Nordics are available. And there's some examples of a screen that we've built just for this webinar, so you can again have a look at the look and feel, see what it looks like. But there you can see system price on the left, time spreads in the middle, implied EPADs on the right. But yeah, both of these screens, they're very user friendly, and we feel could meet your requirements if you're interested in progressing further with these. So I'm just going to hand over to Christian Layritz now. Any questions for me, please feel free to raise them at the end of the webinar or reach out to me direct, and yeah, we can discuss further. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I am very pleased to be with you today. I'm going to speak mainly for a specialized topic concerning commingled order books. But before I do that, I want to give a quick hint to our market data solutions. When it comes towards analyzing market data, it is of course absolutely key to have interfaces provided for obtaining these real-time and historic data, and for that my data source team inquired me to reach out to you and also give you the hint that we offer those services for orders, spreads, and settlement prices, and that you are very welcome to address our colleagues at datasource@eexgroup.com to obtain access to these interfaces. On top of that, we also have vendor of records, so basically licensed partners of us who are entitled to share the market data. Amongst them are LSEG and Montel, which will be also of service for you. But now, next slide, please. Coming to the a topic that I want to inform you about. It's basically coming from a practical use case that customers have approached us. The use case is the following. Imagine a situation where you're working on two separate order books, one of EEX and one of NASDAQ. You see a graphical depiction down below. It of course implies that you have two separate market views, and due to a difference in trading cost, there are certain price differentials. So basically, where you cannot compare to the last cent each of those two order books, which brings us to a solution. Why don't we merge two order books into one aggregated order book? And for that, there is a solution. Next slide, please. And that solution is the TT aggregator. Just as a little disclaimer beforehand, if you have another vendor of your choosing, another front-end provider, you are of course free to ask that particular vendor if they offer a similar solution. That solution that I'm about to show you right now serves as an example, just as a mitigation to that scenario. So what does the TT aggregator do? It basically aggregates two or more order books into one synthesized order book, which basically gives you a better overview over the market. A very nice feature of this particular widget is that it offers also a price offset and multiplier feature. So basically, you have the opportunity to skew the prices of one order book either up or down to accommodate for, let's say, our incentive scheme, and to have that into your consideration as well. That particular system works through smart auto routing. So basically, that means that you do not have to take care on which venue you're about to address. You just enter the price, and the TT aggregator in the background decides on to which exchange that price belongs to. And of course, it had also an adjustable rule set, so to speak, when you give up when you submit an order, that widget decides in accordance to separate rules on how it shall behave. Shall it either put the whole volume on one market or with a certain ratio, or if it just go alongside the best price. Next slide, please. The added value of that particular widget, let's have a look at it, is clear. It has, of course, easier access to multiple instruments. What you see over here on that little screenshot is the market depth tool of TT, where you can see that right in the middle, you have the price, and right, left and right to it, you have the bids and the ask of the aggregated order book. And going further outside, you have the individual sides of the order book. And there you can see that those order books have now been added towards one, and that the prices can also be either skewed up or skewed down in accordance to what your use case dictates you. There are also trade automation features. Besides the limit order, it's also capable of adding icebergs and timed orders. And the rule set especially allows for a controlled exposure to the markets in accordance to your needs and to your expectations. And this is also a very important keynote. It can also be combined with the TT Auto Spreader. The TT Auto Spreader, just very briefly, is a tool where you can create and synthesize your own spreads, which means that you can create a spread out of your aggregated order book, another outright in the market, and a separate outright, for instance, which of course gives you the advantage that you can really reflect your business use cases nearly end to end into your market screens, where you can see profitability and freely manipulate ratios in accordance to your needs as well. If you're interested in that feature, TT provides that feature since you need access to both venues in that particular scenario. You of course need to have a membership to both exchanges, and you also need a license to a certain extent by TT. This is either through the TT full license, so basically you have the full package with trading technologies, or you can also take advantage of the shared screen solution. But in either way, that particular feature is available through a TT Pro account. If you have any questions concerning this, you're absolutely welcome to address either me or your sales representative, or if you're further interested in the capabilities of trading technologies, you are also free to reach out to our trading technologies representative. With that being said, we can hop over to the next slide, and I would like to hand back to Anders.
Thank you very much, Christian. So we're almost at the end now, but here at the end, we would like to just make aware of the event calendar we have for the rest of the year, for the whole of 2026 in the Nordics. So next week, we are meeting in Aarhus for our Traders Reception and Workshop. And next up is Stockholm, then Helsinki and Oslo. And these events, these four events, all have that in common, that they are the evening before the Montel Energy Day. So that's a good opportunity to fly or move to the location the day before and join one of our receptions that are closest to you. Here you have the options to meet all of us here and more of our colleagues. There will also be clearing banks, there will be service providers, there'll be all kinds of different entities from the markets. So it's a good meeting place and a good network opportunity for you. And at the end, in November, we have our Copenhagen workshop and reception, where we'll have a little bit more of a longer agenda, conference style, and then followed by a reception. So if you want to have more information about it, reach out to your CAM or you can write to sales@eex.com. And then the next slide, please. So this is just one little news for the Nordic participants in particular. If you are a new member from the Nordics, you basically have no fees on our transparency platform, where you are inserting basically insider information. So yeah, just a quick note for you to be aware of. Next slide, please. So that brings us to the end of the webinar. So I'll just check if there's any questions. There is one question here. Basically, they're asking, do you have different contracts between two price areas? So this example, they're interested in NO2 and NO5. And yes, that is the case. So we have the spread contracts available. So it's possible in one transaction or in one execution, sorry, to trade both NO2 and NO5 in one go. So that lowers quite a lot the risk of your exposure, that these two positions are taken in one execution. So there are spreads across the entirety of a portfolio. There's also spreads to Germany and to Holland. So you have system price spreads to the German power market, to the Holland power market. You have also the individual zones to the German and Holland market and others. And if there is a need for spreads that you can't find, then we again easily set up additional spreads. Then there is another question. You said you have market makers on the implied EPADs. What about the zonal contracts? Well, we don't have market makers on the zonal futures directly, but what we have is implied orders. So when we have market makers in the system price and we have market makers in the implied EPAD, that basically generates synthetic prices in all other contracts that are related. So as the zone futures is part of the spreads in the implied EPAD, that means that the prices will also be visible in the zone futures. So we have a completely filled order book wherever there is pricing in the system price and in the implied EPADs. And that covers from all the spreads as well. If you put in orders in one order book, the system is so clever that it will create synthetic prices in other order books. So that gives you quite a few trading opportunities. Good. And just at the end, I think there's no more questions. Nope. So at the end, just want to make sure that this webinar will be available on EEX TV, this YouTube channel, and also on our dedicated website. And if you have any questions that you are not interested in showing here in public, then please reach out to any of us here or write to sales@eex.com. Thank you very much for paying attention today and being here with us. It was a pleasure to give you an update on our Nordic product offering. And I hope to see you very soon, hopefully already next week in Aarhus. Thank you very much.